A month quietly passed, and during this time, the development of the boundless fire domain grew at a geometric rate. In the Lady Matron Hall of the Boundless Fire Domain, Senior Zhu Kuan still has no news. According to the Soul Jade, his life should be safe, but his whereabouts? Xiao Yin mumbled, sitting at the table in the hall. After secretly breaking through to become a sacred grade alchemist within the Yao clan, he quietly returned to the Boundless Fire Domain. The three women had already formed a united front, their secrets and thoughts likely blending together. They stood not far from Xiao Yin, their expressions complex. Xun'er had swallowed the Phoenix Nirvana pill, and the power within her was faintly connected to the Phoenix clan. With the power of the reincarnation seal, her strength was rapidly increasing, and entering the reincarnation was only a matter of time. Because of the Phoenix Nirvana pill, she would likely need to visit the Phoenix clan in the future. As for Kailin, she had swallowed the Heavenly Soul Essence pill, accelerating the fusion of the tin-colored bloodline power within her. Once the fusion was complete, she would have to go to the heart of the monster realm. However, that day was still some distance away. Mu Yingying, relying on the flame mantra and 2 types of sacred flames, along with the benefits of the sacred flame's transformation into a human form, was rapidly advancing in her cultivation, to the point of shocking others. Senior Zhu Kuan should be related to the Dragon Clan. Xun'er nodded with a gentle smile. Using the power of the reincarnation seal, she had a vague understanding of some hidden matters. Next, let's send people to investigate the Fire Spirit Clan, Phoenix Clan, and Dragon Clan in the Great Thousand Worlds. Soon, after I break through to reincarnation, I might head to the Netherworld. Xiao Yin nodded seriously. Reincarnation is quite difficult, Xun'er said, shaking her head in concern. Without great fortune or opportunities, it's hard to succeed. And the danger in the Netherworld is, in some ways, far greater than any place in the Great Thousand Worlds. Don't worry, I have my own plans, Xiao Yin smiled. After all, with the power of the Demon God and the Xiao clan's clan mark, along with Feng Wanner and Xiao Zifen accompanying him, he was confident in his ability to venture into the Netherworld to find traces of the missing Xiao clan. In 5 years, the once-in-a-century dimensional gathering of the Great Thousand Worlds will be held in the void space. By then, we may be able to trace the materials you need for the Sacred Flame Ranking's 3rd item. As for other matters, I will send people to gather intelligence, and once any news comes up, I'll inform you immediately. Kailin nodded. She knew that Xiao Yin now carried a much heavier burden than when he was on the Doqi continent. After a brief pause, the atmosphere in the hall suddenly became harmonious. The 3 women whispered small secrets, leaving Xiao Yin by himself, ignored. Listening to the 3 women discussing their little secrets while completely disregarding him, Xiao Yin couldn't help but feel his head grow heavy. It seemed the revolution had not yet succeeded. The comrades still had to work hard. Domain Master, the 3 matrons. Mu Feng entered the hall shortly after, smiling. Soul Clan Soul Leader, Hun Tianhao, requests an audience. It seems urgent. Hun Tianhao. Upon hearing this, Xiao Yin appeared slightly dumbfounded. However, the Soul Clan had a good reputation among the ancient races, even on the Doyun continent, with no known misconduct, so Xiao Yin wasn't overly concerned. Let's go. With that, the 5 of them headed towards the hall. Domain Master, it seems you've become more mysterious after a month, Hun Tianhao greeted, a slight sinister aura occasionally appearing on his otherwise gentle face. However, he didn't exude much of an eerie feeling. Just a lucky breakthrough to become a sacred great alchemist, Xiao Yin explained. He had no intention of hiding this. With Hun Tianhao spreading the news, it could strengthen the cohesion of the Boundless Fire Domain, which seemed like a good choice. A sacred grade alchemist of the 8th rank had the authority to rival even reincarnation powerhouses. Congratulations. May the Domain Master's alchemical skills soon reach perfection. But there's one matter that requires urgent attention. The Domain Master must make a decision soon. Hun Tianhao's expression shifted from joy to serious concern, and he spoke sternly. What's the matter? Seeing Hun Tianhao's seriousness, Xiao Yin couldn't help but ask. The domain master must know that our Soul Clan controls the most well-established intelligence network across the entire Do-D continent. I had planned to deliver all the intelligence to the Boundless Fire domain, but halfway through, I discovered something rather unusual. Unusual? Please speak freely, Soul Elder, Xiao said, his curiosity piqued. Domain Master, you must be from the ancient race that originated in Do-Chi continent. I assume you rose through your stunning abilities? Hun Tianhao muttered. Hun Tianhao finished speaking, and Xiao along with the three women turned their gazes toward him. Only a few people knew about this matter, and they couldn't help but feel puzzled by this person. According to the intelligence I have gathered, the extraterritorial evil clan is eyeing us, while the powerful figures at the center of the human realm are exhausted, dealing with the repeated probing attacks from the extraterritorial evil clan across the Great Thousand Worlds. As a result, some matters are being overlooked. Our warriors guarding the edges of the realms received a faint call from the Do-Chi continent last night. It seems to be a distress signal. When Hun Tianhao's voice fell, the atmosphere in the hall immediately became tense. A distress signal from the Do-Chi continent? Senior Hun, do you have any way for me to return to the Do-Chi continent? Xiao Yan's tone grew heavy upon hearing this. The spatial passage to the higher planes of the Do-Chi continent has been destroyed. We now need to rebuild a new passage. Even if the reincarnation experts from our Boundless Fire domain make a move, it will take at least 10 days. Moreover, due to the limitations of the planes, those above the Do-D rank can only stay on the Do-Chi continent for 10 days before being pushed out. Reincarnation-level experts cannot descend. Of course, there are some rare immortal and evil artifacts that can ignore these rules, allowing one to enter the Do-Chi continent with reincarnation power, but such items are incredibly difficult to find. To break the rules, you would likely need to go through reincarnation and become a supreme being. We can gather the power of the Boundless Fire domain and rebuild the spatial passage. It will take 5 days, but only those below the peak of 8-star Do Xian will be able to enter the Do-Chi continent. Those who are touched by reincarnation cannot enter. Let's take action. In 5 days, we will personally return to the Do-Chi continent. Once Xiao Yan's words fell, the entire hall became silent. Understood. I will go immediately, Hun Tianhao said, his expression tense as he left. Strange, the aura of Hun Tianhao always gives me a sense of surprise. Get ready. We will return to the Do-Chi continent in 5 days. Xiao Yan said to the two women beside him. Yes. I wonder how Xiao Zhao and Xiao Lin are doing now. As she spoke, Xun'er and Kai Lin's gazes softened, and even Yu Roer's fists clenched lightly. An indescribable feeling of worry spread within them. It had been decades since the 5 emperors broke through, and now, they would finally return to the Do-Chi continent. The maternal feelings of the two matriarchs surged up. 5 days from now, they would finally return to the Do-Chi continent, reunite with old companions, and see their children and descendants. In that moment, the emotions from the past few days became more intense. 5 days. It was neither too long nor too short. During these days, Xiao Yan had been frequently present in the Boundless Fire domain, occasionally guiding the cultivation of outstanding disciples or contemplating his own powers. Life had been relatively peaceful, even though multiple forces within him had reached a rare level of saturation. Yet, he was still some distance from true reincarnation. As for Kai Lin and Xun'er, they secretly gathered a group of reincarnation-level experts from the elder ranks and quietly constructed a passage to the Do-Chi continent underground in the Boundless Fire domain. The spatial passage has shattered, and with the power of the soul, we can no longer sense the situation on the lower planes. I wonder how they are doing now. At this moment, Xiao Yan lazily sat on a mountain peak in the back mountains, leaning against a tree. His lips murmured with a trace of longing as familiar figures unconsciously appeared in his mind. Father, teacher, Xiao Zhao, Yun, little fairy doctor, Ziyin, and others. Decades had passed since the 5 emperors broke through. Under normal circumstances, with the help of the Do-D bloodline on the Do-Chi continent, those like little Xiao Zhao, who received the assistance of the Do-D bloodline, should have already reached the Do-D rank by now. But why hadn't they broken through and entered the Do-Chi continent? Was it because the spatial passage had been destroyed when the 5 of them broke through, preventing them from advancing to the lower realms? Or was there another reason? And what did the faint distress signal from the Do-Chi continent that Han Tianhao mentioned a few days ago signify? Xiao Yan. Turns out you came here alone. I've been looking for you. Just as Xiao Yan's mind was in turmoil, a clear, slightly angry voice rang out. Ying. Xiao Yan sat up and looked at Mu Ying as she walked toward him, helplessly saying. Since Kailin and Xun'er confessed about Mu Ying, though Xun'er had been a little jealous for a few days, the 3 women had been inseparable ever since, as if they were 3 very close sisters. Although it meant Xiao Yan couldn't take advantage of the situation, seeing the 3 women so close made him extremely happy. After all, what Xiao Yan feared most was any estrangement between the 3 of them. Fortunately, nothing of that sort had happened, and this situation made Xiao Yan even more content. What's wrong? Xiao Yan spoke, noticing Mu Ying's troubled expression, as if she had something to discuss. This matter is complicated to explain. Mu Ying walked over, grabbed Xiao Yan's hand, and without waiting for his response, pulled him towards the hall. Hey, wait. Before Xiao Yan could refuse, he was hurriedly dragged into the hall by Mu Ying. Lord Domain Master. Inside the hall, Feng Wanner, Xiao Zifan, and other high-ranking officials from the Boundless Fire Domain, as well as several unfamiliar individuals, were present. However, all of them exuded powerful auras. What's this about? On the surface, Xiao Yan appeared calm, but he was actually quite surprised inside. This time, I'll be staying behind to guard the Boundless Fire Domain. These are the strong warriors I've gathered over the past few days. 3 of them are perfect 8-star Do Xian, 7 are mid to late 8-star Do Xian, and 20 are mid 8-star Do Xian. They are the elites of various factions under the Boundless Fire Domain, and they should be able to help you. As for the reason, I'm worried we might encounter some evil forces in the space passage, so? Mu Ying said with a smile, her tone casual. Hee, Lord Xiao Yan. We are all here at the invitation of Lady Matron. We hope to lend a hand, and we won't be a disturbance, right? Seeing Xiao Yan remain silent, one of the perfect 8-star Do Xian elders hurriedly spoke up to ease the tension. After all, Xiao Yan's strength and combatability did not match up, and even they, with their perfect 8-star Do Xian strength, were somewhat shocked. This is indeed my oversight. I didn't expect you to have thought of this so thoroughly. Xiao Yan looked at Mu Ying in surprise, seemingly noticing that she had grown significantly in both strength and wisdom since their last meeting. Due to his distraction over matters with the Do-Chi continent these past few days, he had been a bit scattered. Fortunately, with Mu Ying's help, he smiled and said, with Xun'er and Kailin so strong, of course, I don't want to fall behind. Mu Ying looked at Xiao Yan's comforting smile, pouted, and said, feeling incredibly happy inside, of course, I don't want to lose to them. For this trip, we will be passing through the space passage to enter the Do-Chi continent. Every member of the expedition team, regardless of their contributions, will be rewarded with a sacred pill. Xiao Yan thought for a moment and then decided to announce it. Lord Xiao Yan, you're being too polite. We are already part of the Boundless Fire Domain, and assisting the domain is our responsibility. There's no need for rewards, the group quickly declined. Now is the time to demonstrate their abilities. For the sake of their future prospects, it would be unwise to accept any rewards at this point. Since that's the case, I won't press further. Bring the wine. Lord Domain Master, please. As everyone laughed and chatted, the ground of the Boundless Fire Domain suddenly trembled. A faint energy fluctuation spread out, accompanied by several shadows. Among these shadows, Kailin and Xun'er, 2 beautiful and elegant figures, stood out. The rest were all elders from ancient races. The space passage has been successfully repaired. Kailin, with her red lips pursed, spoke first. Her lazy voice carried an underlying urgency. Boom, boom. These are some of the deep reserves from the Boundless Fire Domain. With a casual wave of her hand, Feng Wanner summoned 10 red-robed elders from the surrounding void. They appeared orderly, their auras formidable. This should be enough. Xiao Yan nodded seriously, looking at the swirling vortex on the ground that led to the space passage. With the dozens of strong warriors Mu Yingying had gathered, along with the 10 elite forces stationed here, their current lineup was quite formidable, nearly 40 people, all at the 8-star Do Xian early to perfect stage. A team of this caliber would be unprecedented even among the 7 ancient races. With this thought, Xiaoyan felt a bit relieved. Since everything is ready, let's go. Please take care of things here. Xiaoyan looked at everyone getting ready, waved his sleeve, and a sharp gust of wind erupted, sending everyone's figures straight to the entrance of the space passage. Yingying, let's go. Xun'er's eyes sparkled as she noticed Mu Yingying's concern. She grabbed her hand, and with the 3 matrons leading the way, they all headed down. Go ahead. We'll guard this place and wait for your return. Xun'er and the elders from the reincarnation realm smiled as they looked at Xiaoyan and his team. As Xiaoyan and his group entered the space passage with their grand formation, the once quiet space passage suddenly began to expand violently. An extremely terrifying force of space erupted uncontrollably from beneath the boundless fire domain surface, and faint thunderous sounds echoed from underground. Little guy, don't let us down. Xun'er casually waved her hand, and the space power from the passage suddenly quieted down. At this point, the boundless fire domain entered a state of high alert. The boundless, pitch-black space corridor stretched endlessly, with a tearing sound that never ceased. There was no sign of life here, only the breath of endless darkness, consuming all. If one concentrated and sensed carefully, an unusually cold feeling spread throughout, a sensation rarely experienced. Lord of the Domain, based on our current course and the intelligence from my soul clan, we still have at least 3 days before we reach the dimensional rift of the Do-Chi continent, Sol Tianhao, standing on the deck with several other 8-star Do Xian powerhouses, said as he gazed at the endless end of the space corridor. That's the only passage into the Do-Chi continent. Although spaceships were rare treasures, in the present boundless fire domain, they had become as common as raindrops, hardly worth mentioning. Moreover, due to concerns about the corruption of this rift by evil forces, traveling by spaceship was the safest option. However, such a grand fleet could only be sensed by a reincarnation powerhouse. Ordinary 8-star Do Xian warriors would be unable to detect anything. This was because the outer part of the spaceship carrying Xiaoyan and the others was surrounded by a thin layer of black mist, blending seamlessly into the passage. Xiaoyan responded, his eyes turning deep as a faint, demonic aura began to emanate from him. It seemed that, even in this already dark space corridor, a subtle black gleam was beginning to appear. Within that gleam was an almost imperceptible smell of blood, making Xiaoyan feel uneasy. Although there is no definitive information, I suspect that this matter is connected to the extraterritorial evil clan, Sol Tianhao said with a complex expression, shaking his head. I boldly guess that there might be a strong member of the extraterritorial evil clan guarding the end of this space corridor. When mentioning the extraterritorial evil clan, a violent aura flashed across his face. The ancient 7 clans only sent the Soul Clan leader this time, as he was the head of the intelligence network, so Xiaoyan did not speak further. As for Mu Yingying, she had originally intended to stay behind in the boundless fire domain, but Xun'er and Kailin, aware of her worries, had insisted on bringing her along. Have they settled in? Xiaoyan asked in return. They've perfectly concealed their powers. Now, the only aura emanating from this spaceship belongs to the 6 of us. One of the other 2 8-star Do Xian powerhouses, standing on the deck, spoke in a low voice. With such vast energy mists, no one will be able to track us, except for a reincarnation powerhouse. Wait, something's not right, Xiaoyan suddenly said. You stay here. I'll go out and investigate, to avoid alarming the enemy. With that, Xiaoyan turned into a streak of black light, activating the Fire Emperor's domain and vanishing into the space corridor. Mu Yingying, Kailin, and the others remained quietly aboard the spaceship. SSSS. The evil fluctuations of the extraterritorial evil clan? Xiaoyan, having left the spaceship, appeared in the space corridor, a faint, cold, bloody scent lingering in the air. It caused the sacred flame within Xiaoyan to stir restlessly. It seemed that something the sacred flame despised had already tainted the space. It really is connected to the extraterritorial evil clan, Xiao said, his body moving slightly as he disappeared from sight. Someone's coming? A voice of confusion echoed through the void as an evil energy mass, shaking uncontrollably, appeared where Xiao had just been. The passage between the Do-Di continent and the Do-Chi continent has been destroyed for decades. Who could have opened a new spatial passage? Is it the extraterritorial evil clan's aura fluctuation? 8-star Do-Xian level? Xiao remained hidden in the void, feeling that the energy fluctuations closer to the Do-Chi continent's entrance were even more intense. The strength of this aura was so overwhelming that even he might not be able to handle it with ease at present. Forget it. I'll report this immediately. Otherwise, if the great powers of the Great Thousand Worlds notice the king's intentions, things could get problematic. The black evil mass swept through the area once more, detecting no suspicious energy, before swiftly heading towards the end of the corridor. Poof! Just as the evil energy mass was about to leave, a cold grunt echoed through the void. Suddenly, several sharp flames surged from the space corridor, carrying with them an ancient, scorching aura. The flames illuminated the entire dark corridor, and the oppressive power within them made it hard to breathe. Please, stop! Xiao voice emerged from the silent void, his words accompanied by several fiery energy chains forming into flame cages that trapped the evil energy mass completely. Who is it? The evil mass trembled uncontrollably, sensing the ancient aura within the flames, fear slowly creeping up within it. Xiao eyes gleamed with a cold, murderous intent as he stared at the evil aura. The chilling, murderous energy alone was enough to make the evil entity feel an unprecedented pressure. Evil explosion. Boom, boom, boom. The evil aura squirmed and twisted, with massive waves of demonic energy surging into the sky, creating an overwhelming spectacle. Xiao looked up and saw dozens of afterimages emerging from the evil aura. Their bodies were indistinguishable from ordinary humans, but each one was covered with visible black liquid. The black liquid in the air radiated an incredibly thick evil energy. The fluctuations from this energy were at a level no less than the mid-tier of the extraterritorial evil clan's king-level warriors Xiao had faced before. Wasting time. Xiao had no intention of wasting words. He simply raised his hand, and a brilliant amber flame surged, quickly transforming into a torrential firestorm that rushed toward the evil entity. Whoosh! Whoosh! The evil entity's attacks and aura were impressive, but under Xiao overwhelming firestorm, the evil energy erupted and was eventually purified by Xiao sacred flame. Saint Flame? In that instant, the evil entity seemed to sense a certain fear. Muttering to itself, a flood of evil energy shot out, colliding violently with Xiao attack. Meanwhile, the entity itself showed signs of trying to escape. Die! Xiao firestorm became even fiercer, transforming into a deadly arrow that cut through the heavens, aiming directly at the entity with the intent to pierce it through with overwhelming killing intent. Save me, my king! Seeing Xiao fatal strike, the evil aura suddenly cried out in desperation, using all its strength to roar in a manic frenzy. Glug, glug. Just as Xiao attack was about to strike the evil figure, the space before it quivered, causing Xiao attack to hit the void itself, disintegrating into dust. At the same time, the world suddenly darkened. A massive, 100-zhang-wide sea of demonic energy surged forth, carrying a terrifyingly corrosive evil force. In the endless, roiling demonic sea, several demonic figures slowly emerged. What powerful demonic energy! This level of energy can only belong to a powerful member of the extraterritorial evil clan. What on earth is happening on the Do-Chi continent? Xiao stood in midair, his fists unconsciously tightening. The Do-Chi continent was home to countless friends and family of his. If the continent were to fall into the hands of the extraterritorial evil clan, Xiao would stop at nothing to eliminate them completely. Boom! In the thick, viscous demonic sea, black blood rolled, and the demonic figures within grew more solid, emitting a faint aura of pressure. Lord, this one. I understand. Return now. I'll deal with this one. Give it a few more days. This continent will be completely devoured by us. I hope you can eliminate this one and avoid interfering with the plans of other lords. After the two figures finished speaking, the heavens and earth suddenly trembled. Strange, this lord's aura seems off. The moment the evil entity spoke, it quickly darted away, murmuring to itself. The demonic sea began to churn again, and in an instant, 7 figures appeared, their demonic shadows flickering. These 7 demonic figures were enveloped in black demonic energy. Their bodies were almost identical to humans, but except for the leader, whose figure was petite with blood-red eyes radiating a terrifying demonic glow, the other 6 had lifeless, corpse-like expressions with dark, eerie auras emanating from their bodies. No need. Just as ripples of energy appeared behind Xiao, he calmly spoke, causing the people hiding in the spatial ship to quiet down. Since Xiao had spoken, they knew better than to interfere, trusting that while this opponent was powerful, it was not a match for Xiao. An 8-star Do Xian, perfect-level extraterritorial evil clan king. Han Tianhao's expression grew serious as he spoke, his concern palpable. It's fine. He won't be a problem. Xun'er and the other 2 women exchanged knowing smiles, and then turned their gazes back to the battle outside the spatial ship's energy barrier, prepared to intervene at the slightest sign of danger. He finally managed to escape. Where is this? After the demonic figure disappeared, the small demonic figure cheerfully spoke, her tone a complete contrast to before. But upon seeing the terrifying power exuding from Xiao, she had no choice but to unleash her own strength. Within the space channel, the demonic sea surged like a hellish ocean, with countless demonic energies swirling around, causing the temperature to drop sharply. I wonder which king of the extraterritorial evil clan you are? Xiao gaze locked onto the only person among the 7 figures, speaking with a calm yet piercing tone. Even Xiao felt that there were even more terrifying figures lurking in the demonic sea, waiting for their moment to strike. However, he had no fear. Although his current strength was only at the mid to late 8-star Do Xian level, with the blessing of the sacred flame, he was confident that even against such powerful extraterritorial evil clan warriors, he could still fight using the reincarnation stage. Interesting. I never thought that a nameless human like you, with only mid to late 8-star Do Xian strength, could know so much about our extraterritorial evil clan. A voice sneered. But the dead don't need to know so much. Wham, wham, wham. The small figure's playful expression faded, and her blood-red eyes suddenly shot out 6 blood-red rays, effortlessly hitting the 6 figures standing nearby. Whoosh, whoosh. At the same moment, the 6 demonic shadows around her howled, their grayish-white eyes gleaming with a rare murderous aura as they tore through the void, charging directly at Xiao. The demonic energy roared, filling the dark, oppressive void with an eerie atmosphere that made Xiao's nerves tense involuntarily. Saint Flame Kai, fighting soul. Xiao snorted coldly, his eyes flashing with violent intent as he immediately tangled with the 6 demonic corpses. The sacred flame aura on this guy seems extraordinary. The small demon figure floating above the demonic sea, surrounded by swirling blood-red rays, seemed to be pondering the nature of Xiao's sacred flame. The 6 figures continued to clash with Xiao in the sky, the extreme density of demonic energy along their path making the surrounding void feel especially suffocating. Whoosh! In the final moments, the 6 demonic puppets were easily defeated by Xiao, who dispatched them in a matter of seconds. The speed of their defeat stunned the small demon figure. Speak your intentions, or else? Xiao's amber flames surged around him, the holy purification aura overwhelming, creating a force that seemed to suppress the demonic sea itself. Humph, step back. The small demon figure snorted coldly, then extended a pair of black, shadowy hands from the black mist, beginning to form some ancient, sinister seals under Xiao's watch. This is bad. What is this guy summoning? Seeing this, Xiao Yan's speed surged as he activated the flame burst technique, leaving behind afterimages as he sped toward her, intent on preventing whatever terrifying force she was summoning from destroying the space corridor. If the space channel collapsed, they would be trapped and might even be sucked into a spatial turbulence. Spatial turbulence, something even reincarnation-level experts feared. It's too late. Nanoli, eliminate them. As the small demon figure's voice fell, the demonic sea below began to churn violently. A massive demonic scar, 1,000 feet long, emerged from the depths of the sea like a demon crawling out of hell. The blood-red aura enveloped the area, the evil demonic energy howling and surging, filling the air with an overwhelming, spine-chilling presence. An evil pet. Looking at the massive creature, one of the 8-star Do Xian perfect experts aboard the space vessel couldn't help but exclaim, clearly recognizing the creature. Evil pet? Mu Yingying asked in confusion, sensing the creature's size and power, realizing it was no ordinary being. Strange, the aura of this creature feels off. Xun'er's expression sharpened. Since its appearance, the reincarnation seal on her forehead had started to stir restlessly. Heh, you three matrons don't know. In the extraterritorial evil clan, there are many things. Although they are mortal enemies with our great thousand worlds, it cannot be denied that the extraterritorial evil clan also houses wise sages. Many brilliant individuals among them possess extraordinary talents. The sacred flame seals and the research into pure heart appearances are both products of the extraterritorial evil clan's great wisdom. Evil pets are also a masterpiece of the extraterritorial evil clan. They mix human or their own blood with certain cruel methods of cultivation to raise beasts similar to magical beasts in our world. Except these magical pets have only one focus: slaughter. Besides that, there's a simpler method. The extraterritorial evil clan injects their primordial energy into the body of a magical beast, devouring its strength and will. Once the will of the magical beast disappears, the beast becomes a loyal companion to the extraterritorial evil clan expert, an evil pet. An elder explained. As his voice fell, the battle outside exploded with intensity. The demonic sea churned, and the monstrous evil pet, towering 1,000 feet, surged forth, carrying boundless demonic energy, raining down like a storm and rampaging through the space corridor. We can't let this evil pet continue unchecked. If the space corridor collapses, the consequences are unimaginable. Xiao Yan's gaze was fixed tightly on the creature. A black and red aura surrounded the massive body of the magical shadow, which was unmistakably a monster. Its entire body was black and red, with skin as tough as a magical beast's, yet its physique resembled that of a human-like ape. It had 4 arms and 2 legs. Its head lacked a nose and ears, with only a single vertical eye. Below the eye, however, was a grotesque, bloodshot mouth. The edges of the bloodshot mouth were covered in dark red, golden-edged patterns, exuding an overwhelmingly sinister aura. From within the mouth emanated terrifying energy, with a pungent stench filling the air. This creature's strength, it even surpasses its own master? Has it reached the level of touching reincarnation? After a brief pause, Xiao Yan's keen soul power suddenly contracted, and a chill spread through him. Nanoli, kill it. The petite magical shadow smiled as she watched her evil pet appear, then issued the command with a grin. Howl. With its master's command, the monstrous creature let out a beastly roar from its grotesque mouth. In the next moment, blood-red energy chains materialized above the mouth, gradually forming a blood-colored pillar of energy. The evil fluctuations it released were intense. Countless wriggling worms crawled on the blood-colored energy pillar, each movement releasing a foul odor. However, beneath this stench, there was an overwhelming surge of dark power. The power of reincarnation. The sharp sound of wind tearing through the air echoed from the spatial rift, and the blood-red energy pillar grew more solid, causing the blood in one's veins to feel as if it were freezing. Indeed, it's powerful. But I am no longer the person I once was. A hint of burning heat flickered in Xiao Yan's icy eyes. With a sudden surge of energy, the power of dragon god transformation erupted from his body. Roar. The first stage of Dragon God transformation enhanced Xiao Yan's physique once more, and strands of dragon aura emerged, radiating immense power. Roar, roar. The second stage made Xiao Yan's dragon blood boil, and waves of dragon might were released uncontrollably. Roar, roar, roar. By the time the third and fourth stages took effect, half of Xiao Yan's body had already transformed, covered in actual dragon scales. A faint, domineering aura of a dragon clan king drifted from him. Half man, half dragon. This is the fluctuation of the dragon clan? At this moment, seeing Xiao Yan's form, especially with the dragon scales faintly visible on one side of his body, the magical shadow floating above the demonic sea was taken aback in shock. Fire. Xiao Yan's eyes flickered with a rare intensity. In the next instant, amber-colored flames erupted from his control, completely enveloping the dragon-transformed half of his body. The combined power of dragon scales and sacred flame made Xiao Yan resemble an invincible war god. Although I'm surprised that you possess the power of the Dragon Clan, the mighty reputation of the demonic Puppet King is not something a mere human can challenge. The demonic Puppet King, standing atop the demonic sea, sneered, his sharp voice contrasting sharply with his small, delicate form. Shut up. Xiao Yan moved, stepping through the space, his powerful energy surging through him. He was filled with confidence. Everyone watched as Xiao Yan charged forward with overwhelming momentum, like a sword being unsheathed. The air vibrated with each step, and the thick demonic energy in the demonic sea was instantly dispelled in his wake. Overestimate yourself. Boom. Just as the demonic Puppet King finished speaking, the blood-red energy pillar from his evil pet's mouth let out a roar, locking onto Xiao Yan and shooting directly toward his vital points. In that instant, the space exploded with a tremendous force, and waves of energy surged toward Xiao Yan. Boom, boom, boom. Watching the terrifying attack come, Xiao Yan smirked, revealing a dangerous grin. He took a deep breath, his dragon-transformed arm tightening into a fist, and then struck at the blood-red energy pillar with a powerful blow. The simple punch, infused with the overwhelming power of Baxia scale and sacred flame, unleashed a brilliant blue light and amber fire, interweaving to form two colossal energy dragons that coiled around Xiao Yan's fist. The sound of dragon roars and tiger howls reverberated throughout the sky, dispelling all traces of violent energy, leaving only a peaceful aura. How is this possible? Looking at Xiao Yan, who easily blocked the vicious strike of his evil pet with just a punch, the demonic Puppet King's calm demeanor vanished in an instant, replaced by an expression of heavy disbelief. This evil pet had been painstakingly nurtured by him, and was also raised by powerful beings from his clan. How could it not defeat a mere human in the mid to late 8-star Do Xian stage? Its strength was enough to rival those who had touched reincarnation. How could a mid to late 8-star Do Xian human possess such power? At this moment, the demonic Puppet King snorted coldly once again. Immediately, the evil creature's body began to move, starting slowly but rapidly accelerating, running through the void. The void trembled restlessly, and countless demonic energies rolled, forming dozens of vicious spatial storms within this spatial passage, rampaging everywhere. Whoosh whoosh. Xiao Yan frowned at the sight, and with a series of punches, he shattered the spatial storms that the creature had conjured, one by one. Next, it's your turn. After doing all of this, Xiao Yan's body transformed into a streak of light, his dragon scale form and holy fire power shattering the void as he shot toward the evil creature. Boom, boom. A punch was thrown at close range, two dragon shadows swirling around his fist, like brilliant stars falling. The fist below was filled with boundless, surging power. The green and amber-colored energy interwoven within the punch hit the evil creature's skin without a single miss. Immediately, the demonic energy surrounding the evil beast surged violently, and within moments, it began to rapidly disintegrate before everyone's eyes. Even from the creature's body, small cracks could be heard breaking. Explode. Seeing Xiao Yan's continuous attacks, the demonic Puppet King's expression grew grim. He snorted coldly and immediately began to move his hand again, forming an ancient and mysterious hand seal. Lord Domain Master, this guy wants to run. He must not be allowed to escape. Otherwise, we'll alert him and be in danger. Upon witnessing this scene of the demonic Puppet King, the two perfect tier powerhouses hiding within the void quickly spoke up. Don't worry, this time you won't have the chance to run. Xiao Yan's fist pressed closer and closer to the evil creature, and the terrifying force seemed to be eroding and purifying the evil beast. In a moment, this once invincible evil creature would likely be reduced to dust under Xiao Yan's sacred flame. What's going on? Seeing that his 6 puppets and his proudest evil pet were being obliterated by Xiao Yan, the demonic Puppet King began to feel the urge to retreat. However, the hand seal he was performing didn't release any spatial fluctuations. Around him, green vines erupted, tightly binding his figure. The vines carried an extremely mysterious force, the power of a formation.